Now from the last section we have seen about the velocity modulation taking place in two cavity klystron. So we are going to start here from where we have stopped. So from the velocity modulation we have written the expression for the exit velocity of the electrons from the Bunge gap as V of T1 is equal to V0 into 1 plus beta I V1 by 2 V0 sine of omega T0 plus theta G by 2. So by now we are familiar with all the parameters. Theta G is a gap transit angle. Then V0 is a DC voltage and V1 is a microwave voltage. So from this equation you can write the maximum and minimum velocity. So we can write the expression for maximum velocity as V0 into 1 plus beta I V1 by 2 V0 and V minimum as V0 into 1 minus beta I V1 by 2 V0. Beta is a beam coupling coefficient. So thus the magnitude of maximum and minimum velocities are written. Now we'll come to the bunging process. Okay. So once we know that the electrons are being velocity modulated, they are going to leave the Bunge cavity. Now between the free space between the two cavities, Bunge and catcher cavity, the electrons, there is a bunging process. Okay. So this is actually a trajectory for the electrons. For the electrons which is traveling fast, and for the electrons which is traveling with same velocity, and for the electrons which is traveling with the slower velocity. So those electrons which are passing in the Bunge gap, when the signal voltage in the Bunge gap is going to be 0, they will come out of the Bunge cavity with the same velocity. So their velocity is not being changed in the process. So such type of electron, they go on to become the bunging center. Those electrons which is passing the Bunge cavity during the positive half cycles. Okay. So during this positive half cycles, the electrons will be accelerated and they will be traveling what? Faster. Okay. So here time is shown here as Tc. So those electrons will travel faster. And those electrons which is passing the Bunge gap during the negative half cycle of the gap voltage, those electrons will be retarded, that is they will be traveling slower. So at some point, okay, all these electrons which are traveling with the same velocity, that is unchanged velocity, those electrons which are traveling faster and those electrons which are traveling slower, all these they will bunch together. Okay, so you can say at a distant point, say L from the Bunge grid, there will be a bunging. Okay, so such a bunging center is being shown here. Following here are the corresponding time shown in the x-axis. So I can write here a relationship, that is I am taken the time Tc for the electron which is traveling faster, time Tb for the electrons which is traveling with unchanged velocity, and time Ta for the electron which is traveling with the slower velocity. And what I am going to do is I have written Tc and Ta in terms of Tb. Okay, that is what is written here. Now continuing with the bunging process, bunging is occurring at a time of Td. Okay, so the distance from this Bunge grid to the location of dense electron bunging at the time Tb, expression is written. We know that distance is equal to velocity into time. So delta L you can write it as V0 into Td minus Tb. V0 it is having unchanged velocity. That is those electrons which are passing when the signal voltage in the gap is 0. Okay. So those electrons will be having no change in the velocity. They are traveling with the same velocity. So for that electron, the distance from the Bunge grid to the location of the bunging center, delta L is equal to V0 into Td minus Tb. Td is the time in which bunging takes place. Similarly, we can write for the distances of electron at Ta and Tc. We know that in case of Ta, we are having minimum velocity, expression for the minimum velocity, and at Tc, the electrons are traveling faster, so we will be having a maximum velocity. We have already written the expression from velocity modulation process for V max and V minimum. So next step we will be substituting those values into this particular equations. Now the expression for delta L for the electrons at Ta and Tc. Okay, that is those electrons which are traveling with the maximum velocity and minimum velocity. We are rewriting the expression for delta L by substituting the values of Vmax and Vminimum. So necessarily all these electrons Ta and Tb and Tc, they are going to meet at the same distance delta L. So I can rewrite this equation as such. Obviously these two expressions delta L should be equal because they are all these electrons, they are going to meet at the same point at a distance of delta L. Now by subtracting the above equation, you get the expression for Td minus Tb as such. From this we can write the expression for delta L as V0, velocity into this time, Td minus Tb. Okay. Now this particular equation, you have to understand that it is not the equation for a distance of maximum bunging. Okay. We have with all the assumption we have found out a value for a delta L. Delta L is a point from the Bunger grid at a point where electrons have been drifted into a bunch, or electrons have been drifted to form clusters. But this is not a maximum condition. Okay, this is not, delta L does not represent a distance where maximum bunging has occurred. Now, what should be the spacing between the cavities, that is the Bunger and the catcher cavities, to achieve the maximum degree of bunging? Now T0 here is the time interval for the electrons to enter the Bunger cavity. T1 the time taken for the electrons to leave the Bunger cavity. L is the drift space between the two cavities. Now T2 is the time for the electron to enter the catcher cavity. T3 is the time taken for electrons to leave the catcher cavity. Now once the electron is entering this particular Bunger cavity, between the time period T0 and T1, obviously we know that it is undergoing velocity modulation, and when it enters this distance L, this field free space, it is undergoing the bunging process. Electrons are getting bunched into dense clusters. Okay. Now we write the expression for this transit time T2 minus T1 as L by V of T1. That is the expression. We have to here replace this V of T1 with the expression for the velocity modulation, which we have already written. Now here again I am taking an assumption. Since we know that the DC voltage VO is going to be very much larger than the microwave input signal voltage V1, I can use this particular assumption. Okay, this particular term I am considering it to be X. So if this term is going, since it is going to be very small, I will rewrite this expression. For example, like 1 plus x the whole raised to minus 1 can be expanded as 1 minus x plus x square. So I will rewrite this particular equation with this assumption in the next step. So I am going to replace the previous equation of L by V0 with time period T0, and I have used the assumption, that is 1 plus x the whole raised to minus 1 is 1 minus x. Okay. So I have rewritten this expression, T is equal to T0 into 1 minus beta I V1 by 2 V0 sin omega T1 minus theta g by 2. Now multiplying this whole equation with omega, I get the expression as such. Now omega T0, we know that it is theta 0. Okay. So continuing from the previous step, writing this equation, we find that this particular term theta naught beta I V1 by 2 V0 is going to represent the bunging parameter denoted by X. So rewriting this particular equation in terms of the bunging parameter, we get such an expression. Now here remember that theta 0 is a DC transit angle between the cavities given by omega T0 or omega L by V0, which is also equal to 2 pi n. Here n represents the electron transit cycles between the cavities. Now when we are taking at the Bunger gap, if an electron or a charge is flowing at a time interval of t0, then its expression can be given by dq0 is equal to I0 into dt0. Now we know that from the principle of conservation of charges, the same amount of charge will also pass to the catcher gets at a later interval, say at a time of t2. It is entering the catcher cavity. So this I0 dt0 can also be equal to I2 into dt2. Here we are taking only the absolute values and neglecting the negative currents. Now here I2 represents the current in the catcher cavity. Now again, when you are considering the time or the entering time and the exit time of the electrons in the two cavities, I can write the equation, the expression for capital time, that is transit time between the two cavities T2 minus T1, okay, and tau is a time, drift time in the inside the Buncher cavity as T1 minus T0. So I am going to rewrite the expression for time period T2 in terms of this tau and capital T. So I can write T2 is equal to capital T plus tau plus T0. So continuing with the equation, I am replacing, instead of T0 we have written earlier as T0 into 1 minus beta I V1 by 2 V0 sine of omega T0 plus theta G by 2 from the expression of velocity modulation. Okay, now multiplying again by omega, I get the expression as such. Now again further rewriting this equation, that is omega T0 can now be represented as theta naught. Okay, and again expanding this inside, I get beta I V1 by 2 V0 into theta naught is nothing but the bunching parameter x. So I have rewritten this equation in terms of bunching parameter x. Okay, now you can write this equation in such a way that this term represents the capture cavity arrival and this term represents the Buncher cavity departure angle. Now we have written the expression already for T2 in terms of capital T, tau and T0. Now when we are differentiating this particular expression, okay, when we are going to differentiate this particular expression, again you get D2 in terms of the bunching parameter x. We know that bunching parameter x is beta I V1 by 2 V0 into theta naught. Here omega into T0 can be taken as theta naught. So x represents the bunching parameter here. So we are rewriting this expression, and we have already seen from the conservation of charges that I0 into dt0 is equal to I2 into dt2. So from this you can write the current arriving at the catcher cavity in terms of the arrival time T0 at the Buncher cavity. So the current arriving at the catcher cavity you can rewrite as shown below. Now we have written the expression for the current arriving at the catcher cavity. Now we can see that the current at the catcher cavity is a periodic waveform of period again 2 pi by omega about the DC current. So when we are going to do the Fourier series expansion of this current I2, after the completion of the Fourier series expansion of I2, it is going to result in integral of sine and cosine of many sine function. So after the final solving of the Fourier series expansion, you get the result of I2 as such. Okay, so you can directly write this result of current I2, which is given by I0 plus 2 sigma n varying from say 1 to infinity 2 I0 Jn of nx cos n omega t2 minus tau minus t0. By now we are familiar with all these time. Okay, what is t2, what is tau, what is t0, etc. Now from this expression we can say the magnitude of fundamental component of the beam current at the catcher cavity can be given by taking only the magnitude 2 I0 Jn of nx. Okay, so from this expression we have written the magnitude of the fundamental component of the beam current at the catcher cavity. Now the fundamental component of beam current at the catcher cavity from the expression can be written as IF is equal to 2I0 J1 of X. That is, we have substituted for n is equal to 1. Now here J1 of X is a Bessel function. So it can have a maximum value at X is equal to 1.841. At that time J of X will be equal to 0.582. Now we have to find, say, the optimum distance L at which the maximum fundamental component of current occurs. Okay, so we can write the expression for the transit angle. We know theta g is equal to omega into time, that is omega into L optimum by V naught. Here we are writing it as L optimum in order to find out the optimum distance L at which the maximum fundamental component of current is occurring. So I know the bunching parameter X is given by beta I V1 by 2 V naught into theta. Transit angle, I am replacing it to be omega into L optimum by V naught. L optimum, that is the optimum distance I have to find out for maximum bunching. Okay, so L optimum I am writing it. So I am replacing again X, that is a bunching parameter X, with the maximum value of 1.841. That is, maximum bunching is taking place. That is what is assumed. So what is that L optimum in that case? Okay, so I am getting an expression for L optimum as such. So this is the optimum distance L at which the maximum fundamental component of the current occurs. So when asked to explain about the optimum distance at which the maximum component of current is occurring in the catcher cavity, we have to write about the bunching process, the current coming in the catcher cavity, and finally the expression for the L optimum.